Hey group leaders, Pastor Luke here, super excited as we continue our journey to become the best group leaders that we can. And in this session, we're talking about mobilizing our group members to be on mission. One of the components of having a life-giving group is that you are on mission every week. And so one of the biggest ways to do that is your prayer for three. And as you're doing this is going to be people who are far from God, is the idea here. People who either need to come to know Jesus or it's time for them to take a next step in their faith because they are not involved in church, they're not involved in a group, fill in the blank there. Now, here's the statistic for us, that 90% of people who go to church are likely not going to have a faith-based conversation with somebody else. They're not going to take the opportunity, even if they're trained, 90% are not going to share the gospel with somebody. And so while we want to continue to train people to be able to do that, they give them the opportunity whenever it is time to do that. What more people will do is invite someone with them somewhere. It means in and out of every season, we need to identify who are three people that God has in our path this season based on the activities that we are involved in, that we can be pointing to Jesus more. So when we talk about prayer for three, one of the biggest things here is not for us just to talk about it, but to pray about it. And that every time your group gets together, the expectation would be that you're doing that you are praying for lost people, that you are praying for these people on these cards. And that the people on those cards wouldn't be the same for a year, but instead that you would switch them up regularly based on the season of life that you are in. And when it comes time to pray for them, there's multiple different ways that you can do this. In fact, it's a great opportunity to raise up an assistant group leader to be able to say, hey, this next week, I want you to pray and lead our group for what this could look like. Now, one of the opportunities for you to be on mission with your group is an activity called an empty chair. And here's what this could look like, is you could get up as a part of your group and let everybody know that you're going to come together and that you guys are going to lay hands on an empty chair in your group. And to be able to say, hey, you know what? Every empty chair is a soul that needs Jesus. And we're going to pray for that. You can ask people to write Post-it notes on it. You can just ask them to call somebody to mind and lay hands on those empty chairs and to be able to pray for them in your group. What a powerful visual moment that you just created, that whenever people see those empty chairs, you can just call it to mind throughout your different group sessions to say, hey, you know what, we are praying for this again. So just another reminder in addition to that prayer for three. I mentioned that there's other ways for you to be able to pray together as a group as you're on mission. One is have someone from your group that you assign to share about how it is that they're going to go and have a conversation about it. And ask your group to pray for them as they get ready to go and do that. So here we can look to navigate that by using our Church Center app and starting a new chat for that. But as you do that, it is so exciting to see some momentum build as people rally around that person, as they start praying for that, what's getting ready to happen. And then they report, hey, how did it go? What a powerful thing that you can do. Now, one of the next opportunities is a study called Impact. And what this study is going to be based off of Mark Mickelberg's Contagious Faith book. And this book has video series that goes along with it to where he is going to outline different styles that people might have to where they would do this. And as you walk through that study, you're going to get to learn some different key skills associated with those different styles. And people are going to be able to see how their different personalities, how their different giftings are going to lend themselves well to that. And as we train people towards that and we give people some of those tools, then they can be confident and competent, and we can try to reverse some of the trends of that 90% statistic I gave at the beginning. And so as we look at next steps for people, them getting out and doing any of these things is potentially a big next step for them. Because as you model that for your group and invite them into this with you, you're going to play a vital role in helping mobilize your group to be on mission.